Hey guys, what's up? Jillian Rogue here. Today I'm going to talk about something that is honestly fucking terrifying. At least to me. You guys might think it's stupid. You might think I'm crazy for thinking it's terrifying. But to me, this is fucking terrifying. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about bath salts and Flakka. Now, for those of you, I think most of you know what bath salts is. It's basically like this new legal drug that's, well, it's not new anymore, but it's sort of like methamphetamines, and then people started going crazy on it and like cannibalizing people and shit like that, so they made it illegal, but they recently came out with like a new form of it called Flakka. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I believe that's what happened. They got rid of it for a while because it was making people go nuts. But now they come out with Flakka, and we're seeing the same thing happening again with Flakka. And I just think it's fucking terrifying. Like, watching these people, oh, it's so scary, I think. So I don't know much about Flakka and bath salts. I'm still learning. It just really, really interests me. And it interests me because I am so into psychology, and I also have a history of drug abuse. I've been sober for almost 8 years. And also on top of that, I do believe in the paranormal. And there are some paranormal conspiracies surrounding Flakka and bath salts. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. It just really astounds me what this drug seems to do to people. Like, watching these people who are overdosing on it or just really fucked up on it is terrifying and yet so fascinating. It's crazy. I don't even know the word for it. It's just crazy. I mean, to think that a drug could do that to someone, it's just crazy. But anyway, so many people, I think probably most people, just claim and assume that it's just the drug just fucking with their mental state. They say it's because the heart rate increases so much that your body literally begins to sizzle. Not literally sizzle, but you know what I mean. Figuratively sizzle. And they say that your body temperature reaches up to 106 degrees. And this also causes, having a high fever causes you to be sort of delirious. They actually call it an excited delirium. They say they enter a state of excited delirium. And what they say is that this causes paranoia, hearing voices, hallucinations. You don't know what's going on around you. You don't know your surroundings. It also causes extreme violent urges, suicidal urges. People are cannibalizing other people, attacking other people, self-mutilating. It's pretty extreme and pretty crazy. But then there's other people who claim that this is like a new experimental drug and that what we are seeing is actually the start of the zombie apocalypse. And then there's another group of people who are saying that what we are seeing is actually demonic possession because all drugs and alcohol open up a gateway for, you know, like spirits and demonic possession and stuff like that, especially coupled with other factors such as you know, like being depressed, being down and out, already maybe being a little suicidal, already, you know, being in a dark place or a bad spot in life. That coupled with drug use, specifically bath salts and Flakka, it seems, opens gateway for demonic possession. Now, this theory is particularly terrifying. This is what terrifies me. And the reason why, I know it sounds silly for me to even think it even could be true, but the people who have been in this terrifying state while on Flakka have actually come forward and said that it felt like they were being possessed by a demon. They said it felt like they were in hell and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to get into that in a minute. The belief that drugs and alcohol is like a gateway for the spirit world and demonic possession is something that we as humans have believed for centuries. I mean, just think about how many different ancient cultures and whatnot use drugs in their spiritual rituals to like sort of open up the mind to the spiritual world. Like I said earlier, I used to use drugs. It's something I try not to tell people, but fuck it, I'm putting my life on YouTube, so why not? And I've been sober for like 8 years. But, and if you've seen my channel, you notice that I have paranormal story times and videos about sleep paralysis and stuff like that. And honestly, yes, I had paranormal experiences when I was a young child, but then they went away and they did not come back until I started using drugs again. That is when they came back, and it did seem like the drugs would make them worse. That is also when my sleep paralysis started. It started at the height of my drug use. When I was the worst into drugs is when my sleep paralysis started. Anyway, I had 2 roommates who were extreme alcoholics. One of them would go into like these states that were pretty fucking creepy, and the other one, I'm pretty much absolutely convinced, was possessed twice. And like full on possessed. Like, it was fucking terrifying. Needless to say, I promptly left after that. And if you want, I could do a story time video on it. It was terrifying. I have so many stories on this I could do. Like, so many. Let me know if you want to hear about this stuff in the comments below. But anyway, I can see both sides to this. I can see the scientific side, that it's just, you know, the drug affecting the body temperature and thus affecting the brain and the mental state. I can see that, and I can also see the spiritual, terrifying side. And I can also see the zombie apocalypse side. But what shocks and baffles me is that when you see these people on Flakka and bath salts, they act downright animalistic. It's literally as if they have left their bodies. Like, their bodies are just like these empty vessels that are like on autopilot.
See another one doing the zombie walk. She's really screwed up. It's at the top of Charlton Street. Just prior to me filming this, she had her pants down. She was bent over, she had her pants down.
You alright? You okay?
Where are you headed? I need it's already 4.
Yo, this shit is crazy, yo. I feel so bad for her. Like, you can't. That's that Flakka, man. South Florida.
She on the block.
This girl is really doing the most right now, yo.
I mean, it's like they're not even doing anything, but it's their bodies just like flailing around and growling and screaming. Like, it's fucking weird to watch. It's as if there's literally nobody home. Like, you're looking at a dead body that's being like puppeted into like flailing around and stuff. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, it just looks so like they're lost in there and like animalistic, like autopilot, like just full on, like just raw. You know what I mean? It's really hard to explain. Like, it looks fucking creepy. It all just seems as if they're like so deep, like lost in this abyss, that their bodies are just left just reacting. And other times it just seems like they're in their own world, like from hallucinating, and like it seems kind of innocent. But then there are other times you see them and it just seems so dark. And they could not be doing anything, just be flailing or something, and it just seems just dark, you know? And many of these people have come forward saying that they felt overcome by voices, like evil voices, like telling them insults about themselves, or telling them what to do, or telling them to do malicious things, and suicidal thoughts, or that suicide's the only escape, or just things like that, that it felt very demonic. Some people have said that it felt very evil. They felt like they were overtaken by the darkest evil, and that they're literally internally trapped inside hell.
I want you to tell people what was going on in your body, in your mind, in your head, as we look at this video. What was happening to you?
Fear, darkness, just, it felt like impending doom was coming down on me. and like that I was possessed, and I couldn't try to stop whatever was in me from continuing further, and it felt like I was about to bust loose and actually hurt somebody. That's why that I was wrapped up the way that I was wrapped up in the fetal position and trying to keep my hands behind me and everything, because I felt like something was going to happen and I was going to bust loose and it was going to be a really bad situation, and I never felt something like that before, some fear like that, and it was one of the most horrible experiences of my life. I don't know why that I did it. It happened, it's behind me now, and I'm trying to move on from it and everything.
I mean, they sound like they can't speak. They look like they can't walk or they can't move, like they're stuck, as if they're like some kind of technology, like malfunctioning. Like they look like what you would imagine a robot would look like if it was malfunctioning.
You want to sit down, bro? Huh? Huh? Let me help you sit down, okay?
Like, it legitimately looks like the scariest fucking thing. Like, it looks like possession. It looks like what you would see in a fucking horror movie. And like I said earlier, some of them just seem like they're just hallucinating and it's all innocent, you know, they're just tripping really fucking hard. And other ones look fucking terrifying, like they're being tortured from within. Like, how does a drug drive someone to eat someone's face? How does a drug drive someone to cannibalize someone, to run up to the first person they see and just start eating their fucking eyeballs? Literally, how does a drug do that? How does a drug drive someone to that dark of a place? How does a drug take away your ability to speak or like move or control your body 100%? Like I said, I've been on drugs. I've tried pretty much every type of drug there is. And I literally cannot see how even the most potent hallucinogens could drive someone to eat someone's face. These people say that they see images of dead bodies that they can literally touch, of grotesque things that not even their imagination can think of. Shit that they haven't seen in movies. Like just the most gory images you could possibly even fathom.
There were visuals I would get that were so grotesque. They're like nothing I could ever even think up or nothing I've seen in a movie. It felt very demonic, very evil. Sinister.
These people say that they're plagued by wild paranoid delusions that drive them to do these crazy things, and they feel urges, and that their voices tell them not to tell anyone, and creepy ass shit like that.
And suddenly, those suicidal thoughts.
He grabbed the butcher knife off of the counter he was standing in front of and impulsively just slashed his neck from ear to ear.
For Dickie, that cut wasn't too deep.
911.
24 hours later, his parents found him here in hhis bedroom, face down, bleeding, a rifle at his feet.
These people are also known to even have superhuman strength, where they need 6 cops to hold them down.
We rode along with Armando Aguiar, a former narcotics officer who's been patrolling these streets for 30 years.
It's very concerning to officers to know that no one officer can subdue any of these people. It takes 10 or 15 people.
Do you think that it can make people do that? Does it give you that sort of crazy superhuman strength and make you do things like that?
Actually, the superhuman strength thing, yeah, because you feel like you're 10 foot tall and you're bulletproof, and you actually do not feel any pain.
These people have also been known to develop new abilities, like this girl, where she can suddenly write backwards perfectly.
When I wrote, I would hear voices threatening me. Don't write that down about us. Don't give us out to anybody. Don't turn us in. We'll have you killed. So writing was my salvation at the time, and I almost became afraid to do that anymore.
As she was writing, something so strange happened. Hannah was suddenly able to write backwards.
When you see it without a mirror, it looks completely illegible.
Yeah, you can't tell at all what you're writing.
Yeah, it just looks like scribbles, but then if it's in a mirror, all of a sudden you can read it.
It says, "Why would you do that to me? Why?" Do you remember who you were asking that question to?
Yeah, all the voices that were calling me crazy, and I was convinced that it was their fault that I was crazy.
You also see many of these people crawling or like scooting on their bottoms or just flailing around in other animalistic ways that just seem inhuman.
You left your money back there. Go back there and get your money. You can make this easy on you. You're just going to crawl in the fucking back seat. You ain't crawling in my back seat. I got about a 100-pound shepherd back there. You're crawling in my car. That's bad news for him. Oh, dude, he's picking up the pace. You need to calm down a little bit. He doesn't like police. You need to go back that way. Hey! I'm gonna keep coming this way. I think you're gonna need to do it, dude. I got it on video for you. He's a fucking psycho. He's gonna get. Oh shit! Get down on the ground.
Now, I'm not here to say what is or isn't, as I really don't even know what I believe in myself. I don't belong to a religion. I'm very skeptical of everything, and there really aren't many things that I would say I wholeheartedly believe in. So I'm not here to tell you guys what I think is going on or what is going on. I'm just simply here to present the facts, ask logical questions, present evidence, and speculate. And ask you guys to do the same and let me know what you think. How is it that a drug could drive people to do this stuff?
Watch this police video of a man in a psychotic state called excited delirium, a benign name for a syndrome that is decidedly sinister. The violence and the superhuman strength, what appears immunity to pain. Bloody, naked, and hallucinating, they fight their demons and anybody near them, walking through bullets, snapping off taser prods, growling. Those afflicted by it are literally cooking in their adrenaline-fueled bodies, minutes away from death.
And doesn't it seem that if there weren't anything that does open a gateway for demonic possession, it would be the one thing that alters your state of mind? The one thing that people have been using for centuries and centuries in their spiritual rituals. Doesn't it seem like it would be more likely to happen to people who are exposed to such dark times and such a dark mental state, such as those who are drug addicts?
Hell on the inside, or the devil, how did you describe it?
It felt so evil. It felt like the most darkest, evilest thing that is imaginable. I mean, I was going through something so severe and it be so dark. And
think about what it takes to make a person even homicidal or suicidal. Now, that has to be escalated when they're not only homicidal, but they're homicidal by cannibalism, by eating that person's eyeballs and 80% of their face. Do you really think a drug is responsible for that? Is that possible? Wouldn't that mean that the human mind must be pretty weak and animalistic at its core in order for just a little drug to drive it to that point? So maybe the scariest part of this is that so many people have within them what it takes to be a cannibal. And all it takes to trigger that is a little bit of some powder. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit more scared to walk down the street each day. And again, I'm not even saying that it is something paranormal. If it's something scientific and something psychological, I'm interested in that too. I am studying psychology. Either way, this fascinates me and fucking terrifies me, and I do want to do more videos on it. Let me know if you guys are interested on seeing more videos on this subject. Let me know if you want to see some of my story times with demonic possession and other paranormal stuff in relation to drugs. Let me know if you guys have ever had any experiences with Flakka or bath salts or anyone on them or demonic possession. And also, as always, let me know if there's any suggestions you guys have, anything you want to see, any criticism, comments, anything like that. I'm here to talk to you guys and to network with you and to socialize with you. So I would love to talk to you guys down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear it. And like this video if you liked it and found it interesting. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I make just totally random shit on a bunch of different shit. So you never really know what you're going to get. Haven't found my niche yet. And other than that, have a great night or day or whatever it is when you happen to be watching this.
United States and already causing an epidemic of overdose fatalities and acts of violence.
We're talking about Flakka. Flakka? The drug is called Flakka. Some have dubbed it the insanity drug. And it's everywhere.
It's been described as the scariest drug in the world.
More powerful than heroin or cocaine.
This is a synthetic drug that can alter your state of mind, raising excited delirium, body temperature, and literally losing their mind.
They're all experiencing like superhuman kind of strengths.
Where it takes 6 policemen to hold them down, that's a problem.
Psychotic breakdowns, hallucinations,
aggressive, violent behavior,
cannibalism and self-mutilation.